All right, we're going to talk about advancing to third base on ground balls. Now, if there's not a guy on first and there's no force out at third, you really got to be mentally queued up on balls off the bat. Make sure you're getting reads well so that you know when and when not you should run to third base. So if you're the only guy at second or at second and third, you're in your leadoff, right? You're about 5 steps from second. You want to make sure that you have a good secondary as the pitch is crossing the plate. The reason being is your cue to advance are a couple things, all right? Here they are. A ground ball to the pitcher, you're probably going to freeze because if you take off, he's going to check you and throw the ball to third and get you out. So now we just took a runner out of scoring position. That's one. The second is a ball hit right at you, because if it's hit right at you, it's likely to the shortstop. He's going to catch it, fire it to third, and again, take a runner out of scoring position. And it's a huge momentum killer and a mental error. And then the third one is ball hit to your right. So if a ball's hit to your right, you have to make sure that you see it get into the outfield before you just take off. If the shortstop or the third baseman gets to it and you're taking off, you're going to get the ball, do a little sidearm throw to third base, and again, momentum killer, mental error, takes the guy out of scoring position. Now, obviously, there's some other things to watch out for, like line drives, right? Getting good reads off those. What I want to talk about specifically is getting a good read on a ground ball. Because you want to get to third when the opportunity presents itself, but you need to stay home when it's just not a good idea. And too many times, players aren't thinking about this, and they brain fart, okay? So they got to be ready for this opportunity, and they're ready telling them what they're going to do on a ground ball. So you take your lead off, a healthy lead, right? Something you can get back on. You got your coach telling you if you're good, if you can extend, if you can get shorter. Now, the reason your secondary is important is as the ball's crossing the plate, you have an opportunity to extend your distance in which you can advance to third. So if the ball's crossing the plate and you're right here, the ball could be hit 2 feet to your right. And you would be like, all right, I probably shouldn't go. I still got 84 more feet to go, and they could probably throw me out. Now, if you get a good secondary, which would be, right, now the ball's hit to your left, you could take that base. You know, some people do a secondary like that, others cross over. Regardless, if the ball's crossing the plate and you're gaining ground, you'll be able to read a ground ball off the bat, whether it's at you or to your left, at you or to your right, or to the pitcher. Now, if you're getting a good read on those ground balls, mentally, that's letting the coach know that you're in the zone and you're prepared to do the little things. So all these things help when it comes to getting runs. Now, if they hit a weak ground ball, like a slow roller, where the third baseman has to charge into the grass and cut it off, he's likely not going to come back to third to try to get you. It's going to be a really hard play. So you got to tell yourself these scenarios. You got to be telling yourself, all right, ground ball to me or to my left, I'm going to take off. To my right, I'm holding, I'm going to see it through. If it's hit to the pitcher, I'm going to freeze, okay? If it's hit to second base, I'm advancing, right? If it's a slow roller to third, and he charges and leaves third base, I'm going to go ahead and advance. So when you're the only runner here, you have options. But you got to be telling yourself right away. Because if the ball's hit to your right, you take off, boom, you just ran into an out, okay? And now, again, if that were to happen, don't just give yourself up. Yes, you made a mental mistake, but keep the play alive as long as possible. You never know. You could give a chance for that runner going down the first base line to get to second, and at least we have another runner in scoring position. Or you can stay alive long enough to where they make an error. Maybe they make a mental error when it comes to rundowns and making good throws. So, again, just to recap, to me and to my left, I'm probably going to advance on the ground. To the pitcher, I'm going to hold. To my right, I'm going to hold. I got to see it through. But again, if you don't have a good secondary, you're limiting when you could advance to third base. Because if you're back here and the ball's hit right here, he's going to pick it up and throw you out if you go. But if you extend this lead and you're moving on the pitch, you see that ground ball hit over here, now you're moving, you can take off and get to third base. So it really comes down to your reads and your willingness to pay attention to detail. Because these are things that you tell yourself before the pitch happens. That's things a good base runner does.